Greetings! Today we're going to be looking at the Starvation mod and how to install it for 7 Days to Die. Don't worry about typing in all the links you see, I will be leaving them in the description below, so don't worry about that. So the first page I visited was the starvationteam.com, which is the main mod page I suppose, which has a lot of the features that the game includes. However, some of the things are slightly outdated. For instance, I went to the downloads and tried to download the Starvation launcher, which I know was the old way of installing the mod. That doesn't work, unfortunately. So then I decided to let me go to the wiki. The wiki has a little bit more information. Of course, it's also really good for looking at what does the mod include in some detail. It also had some basic information how to do the launch installation and the dedicated server installation. So we're going to be following that one. To get to the actual launcher, and right now they're not using their own launcher. Instead, they're using the 7 Days to Die mod launcher by Sverry. So let's go to the Starvation page on the 7 Days to Die forums. And again, it has some of the basic information, as well as mention that you have to use the 7 Days to Die mod launcher. So we go over to that one, and it loads in. And it gives the basic information of what's this really about. So the 7 Days to Die mod launcher is a way to install mods, keep them up to date in a very simple fashion. So how do you do that? Well, you have to go to the 7 Days to Die mod launcher page is the easiest way. Here you click on the download mod launcher and you save it. So let's download it here. I already have one version, but let's get that down. It is pretty fast. It's not too big. It's already done. It's like 9.9 megabyte. After you downloaded it, you launch it. Of course, it is an executable, so there is some risk, but I think you should be okay. Once you launched it, it'll ask you to install or don't install. So we're going to install it At this point, it's going to continue downloading a number of things, the dependables that the launcher requires. And it's done downloading and asks you to run it. So let's do that. And it'll pop up. And here you see the basic program for the launcher. And it's got a lot of the different types of mods in there. So the one we're looking for is the Starvation mod. And we're going to choose the Starvation mod. And as you see, it's got an X, red X, which means it isn't downloaded yet. What you also want to do, you want to change to make sure that you select which folder you want to do. So I've chosen a 7 Days to Die folder here that I've created just to keep everything there. So then we select the Starvation mod. We're going to do copy for an existing copy, which is the basic one that I already have installed for the base game. And we're going to have, and you see it's going to update the actual folder structure as well. So we're going to do install game copy. So as soon as it's copied over everything, you'll see it turns to a green tick, which means it's copied over things and things are starting to get ready. Now, there are some options here you can select. Refresh mods automatically is probably a good way to do it. Don't use ESC. Keep UNet disabled. Update registry is up to you. Direct download doesn't really matter, but save all games local to mod just helps to keep it separate. Now you can also ensure that you are pre-syncing it in case there is any update for the Starvation mod. And as you see down here, there are a number of files that it has to sync and download, so you just have to wait until that is done. Now, it takes a while for the whole mod to be downloaded and installed on your computer. But fortunately, you don't have to do this very often. Once it's been downloaded and done, everything is completed and you basically just hit play mod. And everything should be starting up as per usual. And you see the game is coming up just as it normally would. Some of this loading can take a little bit longer than you might be used to, simply because there's a lot of extra items that have to be loaded into the game. New configurations, new files. So at least on my system, that definitely took a bit of extra time. Now, when everything is loaded, you'll be in the usual standard menus that the base game has. One thing that I read somewhere was that it is recommended that you have at least 10 gigabytes of RAM in your PC when you play this, preferably 16, because it does load a lot of new assets and configurations and files that is not in the base game, which takes a lot of extra memory. So we're going to do a new game here, and of course you can do the standard options, modded options, but we're just going to keep the basic, do survival SP, Alpha 16 Starvation 1, and we're going to do a start. So setting up and generating the world takes a fair while, so I've just skipped ahead here. And you come into the usual quest system, you'll see that there are a change to the UI. You can also see up here in the top right corner, it has the mention of the Starvation mod being installed, and the month and the weeks. And well, we're just going to continue here. And this is it. The base game looks like the normal one, but you will pretty quickly realize that there's a lot of changes in here. For instance, I'm actually in creative here. You're going to see it. All right. See, so there's a small spider here, so I just flew up a little bit so I can showcase this. And normally you would have to kill him, but I don't want to do that right now, fortunately. So if you look in the creative, you'll see there's a lot of new things. I mean, you have a mill here, a beer trap, failure relay, small generator, searchlight, storage, rain storage, etc. And I don't know what half these things actually mean or how they work, but that's why you have the wiki. So go check that one out. Anyway, that's about it. You now know where to go to install the mod, what to download, and how the installation is done, and what to expect. So I hope you enjoy the Starvation mod and the complexity that it brings. It's quite different from the base game. But I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and do like and subscribe if you want to be notified of my future videos. Have a great day.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link below.